So earlier this year, Jason and I were contacted by one of our local communities here in Marion County. They wanted us to do a dye trace of the cove below where their community is. So there is a sand plant, or a sand quarry, if you will, that has purchased some property, and they're going to be injecting their runoff into the stream that goes down into the cove below this community. Now, this stream is designated as an exceptional water source in the state of Tennessee. So there were concerns that what they put into the water could affect what is downstream. So for those of you who don't know, a dye trace is a study of groundwater, where it flows. Now, here in the TAG region, which is short for Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia, we have a lot of karst. So a lot of times our streams actually sink into the ground and disappear, and then they reemerge later downstream. So our dye trace was done to study where the water flows from the top of the mountain through the cove, through any caves, and where it comes out and then eventually ends up into the Tennessee River. So come along with us as we do this dye trace. I hope it's easy to understand. I show the process from the start to the beginning. There was a lot of groundwork involved as far as identifying the sources where we would put our dye trace receptors, which are the charcoal packets that pick up the dye that we inject in the water, as well as identifying our injection point for the dye trace. So come along with us, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope it all makes a little sense to you. We were able to successfully connect the stream with the cave, the resurgence, the nearby creek, which we also know ends up into the Tennessee River. So we did dye trace this water that for about 8 miles from where our last dye receptor was. So come along and let's go do a dye trace. One other thing worth mentioning is the dye that we used is called fluorescein dye. It is non-toxic, it is not harmful for the environment. So everything that we do in this video is perfectly safe, legal, and we had a permit from the state of Tennessee in order to do so. So here in this region, we have a lot of karst, a lot of limestone, and a lot of caves. So a lot of our surface water sinks and then reemerges before it goes into the major rivers and creeks in this area. So that's why this huge creek bed is dry. We've been told about a blue hole, and we're gonna go find it, where the cave re-emerges from underground. The creek comes down the mountain, sinks, goes through some caves, and then comes out again down here where this blue hole is what we've been told. So we're gonna go find it. So we have found it, and naturally, it looks like a cave. Let's go check it out. It's amazing what landowners can tell you that you don't know about. So again, this is where all of the water from Jump Off Creek re-emerges on the surface after coming down through the cove. And then it flows out here and then goes into Battle Creek. So I climbed up here, and it's just a shelter, not a cave. Yeah, so we're getting ready to do dye trace, and this is what we're going to use to put our dye receptors in the water. It's just a brick, and we've got some cable wire so that it'll hold it in place while it's sitting in the water. So this is our dye receptor pack. This is charcoal that's in here. We're going to take this out, and we're going to attach it to the brick and the string or the wire that Jason has there, and we're going to place it in this water and leave it here for a couple of days as a baseline for our dye trace project that we're working on in this cove. Like after we inject the dye, how often? But this is definitely for...
What if the water is way up here?
Yeah, I mean, that's something it obviously can happen. The water can come up here, but...
Like it's already been up top. Yeah, it's wet.
We just have to think, well, it's been raining, but we have to think about how often we're going to change these dye receptor packs once we inject the dye. You know, 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours. But I would say this water is up at least a foot from the last time we were here. 6 inches to a foot at least. Such a pretty spring. It's definitely flowing a lot more today. Water comes all up through this area. Such a pretty place. Isn't that a beautiful spring? It's still really clear water coming out.
Wouldn't it be easier, babe, to do it down there?
Yeah, that's not going anywhere. We could roll it a little closer. We're just looking for something to tie this off onto so it doesn't wash downstream. Then we'll just weight it down with some more rocks. It's like an old piece of a culvert pipe or something.
So what? Perfect.
You gonna move it anymore? I'll start putting.
No, I
rocks
don't
in.
think so.
Okay, I'll put some more rocks in.
I think it's. This will get us in the water too.
Yeah, it'll get you where it stays. Should stay flowing. We're just getting this set up where it won't flow away if there's a lot of rain in the next week while we're waiting to inject this dye. I got him. He's like, oh no, I lost them.
They sew these.
So you just hook them on the wire.
Yeah, on the brick,
Yeah.
and then the brick keeps it.
That's it.
Place it in the water. Get another brick. Just walking down here to Battle Creek, where we're going to put our, what we call our fail-safe dye receptor. So that way if the dye doesn't come through the cave and out the resurgence, we'll at least still pick it up down here in the main creek. Muddy at this one. The water definitely can.
This could swill back in here.
This definitely back floods, but I don't think
we
we're.
could go over here.
Okay. This is a nice spot.
That'd be in the refrigerator. Okay. And it just has to be what do you call it?
How far would you put it in this refrigerator?
In the dark.
clear all
for
this
you
shit.
in case y'all come out here and the water's up. Yeah, I got
Yeah.
enough.
He's gonna toss
Watch
it.
out.
I just figured we just have to get wet.
Nope. Just like that.
Okay.
You're like 2 feet underwater right there.
Oh, I see it. There it is. It's down there. So there you have it. We've set out our receptor packets. We already put the one in the cave about 2 weeks ago. We're going to come back in 7 days. We're going to change these out, and then we're going to inject our dye, and our dye trace will be on. We'll be checking them after that at 24 hours and 48 hours and 72 to see how fast that dye makes its way down the mountain. All right, so we're out here today collecting our baseline dye receptor packs. We're at Battle Creek. We're going to pick this one up and put out 2 new receptors that we're going to pick up in 24 hours after the dye has been injected. Okay, here we are at our second location for our dye receptor packs. This is what we call the resurgence, where the water comes out of the cave that we are also putting a dye trace packet in. So we're gonna go change this packet out, and then we'll head over to the cave.
Oh, you're
Yes, on the back side,
okay.
and make sure you tie it on really well. And the reason we do 2 is so when we send them in, we keep one, and if one gets lost, say by the mail or something like that, we have a backup.
Take this part off.
Yeah.
Is that the...
Yep. And then close that up. And then we'll put that in the cooler.
Like this?
Got some great flow.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. That's definitely a gar.
Yeah, there's if you walk down here, one hilly with
Must have swam up in here when the water was much higher. So Cindy and I are getting our vertical gear on to go into this pit to change out our dye receptor packet that we have inside this cave. We're going to rappel down about 40 feet and then go a couple 100 feet into the cave to change out our dye receptor packet. Here comes Cindy, rappelling down into this cave. That rope's pretty stiff. So we're gonna go up here, this way, and go change out this dye packet. So we are here inside of the cave, and Cindy is going to change our dye receptor pack that we have right down here in the water. She's going to go ahead and get 2 new charcoal packets out, ready to put on, and we're going to collect this baseline dye receptor, put on 2 more, and then in 24 hours we'll come back and change these again. So this water from this cave exits at the resurgence where we were at earlier, or so we believe, and this dye trace will confirm that. I like that crevice. All right, so we got our dye receptor, our baseline dye receptor packets all changed out. Now we get to go inject some dye into a stream here on top of the mountain. It's going to be really cool. We're injecting what's called a fluorescein dye. It comes out of the bottle red, and as soon as it hits that water, it turns into a bright lime green. So let's go check it out.
Okay. Just think if we dump some of this on you now, you could glow green for a week.
Yeah.
Or longer till your skin releases.
Your clothes, it'll never come out of your clothes.
That's fine.
Go stand on that rock.
Just set the box down.
Yeah, stay right there and then on over there.
One on each side.
Gotcha.
Got some of those. Real good. You want your disposable gloves, Cindy?
Look at that, Cindy. Look at the water.
Same time?
Yep, go ahead. It's all the same dye. Look at all that dye. Go find a cave. Sweet. Dye injection is complete. Oh yeah, let's go watch it come down the creek right here. You can see the fluorescein dye starting to make its way down the creek.
It didn't move this fast when we did this.
So all of this water we suspect goes through that cave, and this will pick it up.
That's pretty cool right there.
Yeah, it's so fluorescent.
Yeah.
It's like it's really picked up the color. Pretty cool. All for science, y'all.
What did we do last time? We did red, we did green.
Orange.
Yep, we did the orange one.
So this is Jump Off Cove. The creek where we injected dye is right up here, less than a mile. And then the creek comes down into this cove. It eventually sinks, the water sinks, and then the cave where we have our dye receptor is down here on this tip. And so we believe the water sinks here, goes underground, and goes through the cave, and then comes out the resurgence where our other dye receptor is. So this dye trace that we're doing today will actually prove all of that. So we're just watching the waterfall here go over Jump Off Falls as it heads down into the cove.
You can request different colors. Okay, good. The red.
Make sure they're on there good and then place it back in the water. Bricks come in handy because they got holes.
Put the new ones on first.
Yep.
One coming up. Number 2.
And then both of these go back in this bag.
Yes. Oh, it's way out there. That's why I can't see it. All right, so okay, that's the lowest part right there, Ann.
Okay.
So here we are, day 7 after our dye trace. We are coming to retrieve our final dye receptor packets that we have in the resurgence and the cave.
Yeah, but I crammed it into that.
Look, I get my brake back. I get my dye trace equipment back.
All right, we're going in the cave to get our last dye receptor packet. This is day 7 after the dye trace. So here we are back in the cave. I just pulled up our last dye receptor packet. It's still in the water right now. I'm about to retrieve it, and then we're gonna head out of here and wait for our results. All right, so we pulled them out of the water over here, and we're gonna take them off here, get them in the baggies, and get them in a cooler. So we're just getting all of our dye receptor packs from the dye trace and all of our pickups packaged up here so we can get them sent off to Kentucky to the Crawford Hydrology Lab, who will be doing all of the testing and will be providing the results for our dye trace that we just performed.